Hi, today I'm going to show you how to make fruit kebabs with a nice dip, and this is part of, the catering lab that you are working on. So here's what we have here. We have a variety of fruits. We have some cantaloupe, watermelon, honeydew, we have some mandarin oranges, pineapple, blueberries, strawberries. All right, so what I have done is I have prepped most of these. The strawberries, you want to hull them, and to hull a strawberry means you just cut off the top of it. All right, so your strawberries will go on the skewers like this. I chose to use a melon baller for the, if you remember, these are Parisienne. All right, that's the cut. And just to review how to make a melon ball, a lot of students will go into the melon like this, scoop it, and they get this deformed, weird looking sphere. This is not a sphere. This is not a Parisienne. This is just a plain old chunk of cantaloupe. So to get a nice sphere, you have to kind of go in at an angle and go all the way down so the whole thing is down, and then you spin over the top, which cuts those other edges off. All right? And then when you pull it out, you'll have a sphere. All right? Well, there we go. There's our sphere. Okay? But we're not going to need that. We're going to need those three. For the honeydew, I cut these into kind of a paisan, the flat square, just to give some variety. For the watermelon, I did like a bigger dice, and these you could get very detail oriented here and make them perfect cubes if you would like. The orange I'm going to leave as an orange. Blueberries I'm going to leave as blueberries. And I wanted to show you how to cut the pineapple. So the first thing you want to do, I'm going to cut off the base so that you have a flat surface, and cut off the top. Okay. Now, all right, I already threw it away. I'm going to grab this. I'm not going to put it on the table. If you wanted to, because you're going to be making a large platter of these, you could save this for part of your centerpiece on the platter. Okay, so you might want to cut it just a little more, but a lot of people use these as centerpieces in a platter of fruit. Okay, but we're not doing that. All right. So then what you want to do is you want to carefully go around this and shave off all of this. Now you may not get it all off, and there's no worries there. You can go back like this and clean up those sections where you got some brown still on there. Okay. And again, you can't take super wide sweeps of this. It's kind of narrow. Obviously the pineapple is round. And we'll be back. We're back, and I have gone around and gotten most of the eyes off the it's not a watermelon, off the pineapple, all those little divots. Now, there's different things you could do with the watermelon, and part of the groups that are making this, there'll be 2 tables making this, is you can be a little creative. We don't want a whole bunch of dice. We don't want everything being the same shape. So if you wanted, pineapple is generally cut into chunks, but that doesn't mean you have to. Rings would be way too big for these tiny little skewers. Okay? But you could do, use the melon baller if you want. I'm just going to cut a few pineapple chunks. Now, these are going to be thicker. All right? Now, in the watermelon, I don't know if you can see, there's this middle section. It's very hard. Okay? That is called the core of the watermelon. It is edible, but it's pretty fibrous, and it's not real easy to chew, but nobody would get hurt if they ate it. But generally speaking, you cut that part out when making your pineapple chunks. So I'm just going to do this like so. So I'm going to get 8 chunks. Then I'm going to take 2 at a time and cut that core out. Okay. I have a garbage bowl here, and I also have a garbage can just because there was going to be a large amount of garbage from that pineapple. It would have overfilled the bowl right up to get started. Now you could use this core in fruit smoothies, in a fruit salad, they cut it up smaller. Okay, so there's that. And then I wanted to do just a quick overview of how to cut the melon. Generally speaking, you cut the watermelon or the honeydew in half, okay? And then, like here, I've cut it in half, and then you take a spoon and scoop out all the seeds of these 2 melons. And then if you wanted to cut chunks, and let's see, I'll probably get a couple good ones over there. But anyway, here to cut chunks, you just start slicing it. And then you can cut them out. And if you want, you can also slice this way to the center if you want more of a curve to it. Generally, we don't peel melons. It just gets really, really messy, and it's so fibrous. Okay. On this watermelon, here's a slice. You would take a knife, and I have here. This is just marshmallow fluff on here, so no worries. And you kind of trim along that rind. And I'm going to turn it around so that there's no chance of cutting myself. And then if you still see you got some white, you can trim it off. Alright? And then you can cut like this. Okay, and then you have your chunks. Alright, so you can do that with any of the melons. Now, our dip. Our dip is 5 ounces of cream cheese, 10 ounces of marshmallow fluff, and 10 ounces of Cool Whip. So, students always, by habit, go get a wire whisk to stir these dips. And half the dip is in the middle of the wire whisk. It will not come out because it's way too thick. So my suggestion is to use a fork. And I've already put all of those ingredients in here. And you can use a fork to smash the cream cheese. Now, you want your cream cheese nice and soft for this dip. If you find that it's not blending very well, you can put all of this into a mix master bowl and mix it with the paddle attachment. Again, do not use the wire whisk because it'll just all get stuck in the middle and stay there. So we'll be back in just a minute when this is over. My dip here is all mixed. Now there are a few small little lumps in there. My ingredients are still pretty cold. So if your ingredients are not playing nice, just go ahead and use a mix master paddle attachment only. And that'll give you a super smooth consistency on the dip. All right, now you have a couple options here. And this is a great idea for holidays. You can tint your icing. So you just put in a couple drops. I'm going to use red, which would give us a pink icing. So I'm just putting a few drops, and we'll see that may be pretty pale, but we'll take a look at it. There we go. Yep, this is going to be a good color. But again, you know, at Christmas you could do green, you could do pink, you could do red. Red would be a little intense probably for a fruit dip. You could do an orange food coloring at Halloween. So you could have all kinds of fun with this. Now, when you do this in class, each table is going to be making, you know, large quantities of this. So I am just going to make a couple of skewers or fruit kebabs for you. You will be presenting this to the whole class, so your kebabs will be on a large platter. So you'll need to find a nice way to present this. I'm going to present it on a small plate. So I'm just going to put a dollop of dip in there. Okay. Now, I have lots of fruit and I have really little skewers. Okay. So my thought is trying to think of this out loud. I want to kind of organize myself. I have 2 skewers. You're probably only going to fit 3 or 4 pieces on there, maybe more of the blueberries. So you can try to find a way. How do you want to do this? Oh, here's my. So am I missing anything? An orange, maybe do this, because those are all very small. All right, so maybe I'll make 2 skewers like this. Or let's see, those are gonna. All right, you can play with it and kind of decide how it is you want to make it. All right, I think I'll just try this. That orange is kind of deformed, so I'm going to get a nicer looking orange. All right, so you get your skewer. This part's easy. Okay, well, famous last words. There we go. There's our pineapple. The blueberries have to go right through the middle. And then a tomato, a strawberry, and I'm going to set this one right there. And then this would be like our melon skewer. And you can get as creative as you would like on these. And enjoy. Thank you.